Yo, what's up, fam? Today, I want to talk about something that we are doing called worship through the arts. Let me explain a little bit about it so you understand where we're going at with it. If you're watching this video, you want to learn a little bit more about this thing called worship through the arts. Let me set it up. Throughout history, much what we learn about previous generations, previous civilizations, has come from the artwork that's been left behind. Whether it was buildings and architecture, paintings, sculptures, all these type of artwork that people have left behind. And much of what we learn has been from all these kinds of artwork. You can look at the artwork that previous civilization has left around and see the things that was worshipped during those times, because there's so much art that was built around those kinds of worship. So you can look and you can see what previous generations, previous civilizations, probably it's artwork that's on the wall, probably it's sculptures, probably it's a painting, whatever it is, we can always do that. That's how we learn so much about what other people have worshipped throughout times. And it got me thinking, like, when our generation has gone and people look at the art, what would they say we worshipped when they look at that art? I believe that God is giving different artists giftings in order to articulate His story, His goodness, His art. And what would it look like if we was intentional with that? That it wasn't just circumstantial, it wasn't just something in the moment, but we want to be intentional with using art to shape and tell a story, to talk about the God of all of existence. So that's what worship through the arts is. It's a time for different kinds of artists to come together on a centralized thing to worship our great God, but to use art. Different kinds of art, whether it's painting, whether it's dancing, whether it's videography, whether it's spray paint, whatever it is, whatever the type of art form that God has given to you. And it's not even about how good you are, it's about your heart desiring to do it. And we're calling different people together to participate in a worship service that's all about the arts and all being brought together to display our worship of our great God, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have 3 different services throughout the year, 3 different services. And what we wanna do as we start this thing out and stuff, and next year we'll probably have some different themes, but what we want to do is centralize around articulating the narrative of the gospel that you find inside the gospel, and in these first 3 things that we're going to do throughout the year. So the first one, we're gonna unite around the centralized theme of creation, the God of creation. Now that's going to be on September 24th at 6:30 p.m. That's a Friday. It's going to be on Friday, September 24th at 6:30 p.m. So we want to give you everything you need from now to start planning and meditating and prepping your heart for the pieces that you would create. After that one, the next one will be on the fall, and then the last one will be on redemption/restoration. Those dates are yet to be determined, and you'll find out more. But in the meanwhile, for this first upcoming one, our centralized theme is going to be creation, the God of creation. So here's what I want you guys to do as you are prepping for this and thinking about what you want to do is spend some time between now and when the event comes, meditating on this theme of creation. First, here's a centralized scripture that everyone has just in thinking about it. You could add to this in your piece, but I want to encourage you to read Genesis 1, verses 1 through 27. This is the creation narrative when God created everything. And as you're reading through this, what you're going to see is several times while God is creating and bringing things together, He slows down and He stops and He says, yo, that's good. It says He saw that it was good. He saw that it was good. That happens several times. So I want you to read Genesis verses 1 through 27, Genesis chapter 1 verses 1 through 27. Think about how often this term he saw that it was good comes up. And I want you to continue to meditate. So one of the things that we're meditating, that we're using to meditate during this time is this exercise that we got from Search School called Shaped by the Story. And we're going to focus specifically on the creational narrative. So like I said, you look in the story and he keeps on saying, it was good, it was good, it was good. So while you're meditating and you're reading those texts and you're thinking about the God of creation, I want you to know and understand that all the goodness that we see inside the world reflect God's heart in creation. So as we're thinking about the God of creation, meditate on what's good. Let your creative minds go with this idea of thinking through what's good. Where do I see the good, the true, the beautiful in creation? How does that shape the type of art that I'm gonna do? Whether it's a dance piece, whether it's a painting, whether it's a spoken word, but thinking at different ways of viewing the goodness that we see inside of this world, and know every aspect of goodness is a reflection of a good God who is present inside this world. And whenever we see that goodness, it's a reminder that he's there. It's a reminder of him. It's like seeing the sunlight reflecting on all the earth is a reminder of the presence of the sun. So think about what's good. Think about what's beautiful. But also spend time praying. Spend time giving God thanks for the good. Spend time praising God. Spend time praying for grace and wisdom on how to continue to cultivate the good, right? But let this time of prayer continue to shape the type of art we create. And then lastly, think about actionable steps. Think about ways that we will fill the world with his goodness, fill the world and tell the story of that's true and that's beautiful about who he is and the goodness that's grafted into creation just because of the good God that made it and that formed it. And I want you guys to create art that articulates God's goodness. So meditate on these things. Spend some time thinking through that as you are thinking about the piece that you're gonna do. And you may be watching this and probably you're not gonna do a piece and you're just gonna come to attend and celebrate and worship with us. We want to invite you. Now, lastly, I wanted to, just as I gave you all the stuff to think through and pray through to help set the tone of your heart, you need to know how to register. We can't just show up and just come. We have to register for it so that we know exactly how many people are coming, what type of work that they're going to be doing, as we use the whole campus to set this thing up, whether it's the sanctuary, learning center, everything. So to that, you can check the description. You can go to and find the link. There's a link that's on the app. There's a link inside the description, but the link is redaz.in/art. redaz.in/art. You'll find that link inside the description or on the app. And I want to encourage you, sign up. Let us know what you're doing and that we can expect you. And in the meanwhile, be praying, trusting our God, and come and help us worship through the arts. All right, fam. Much love. Deuces.